welcome to Vertical Football, and this is the 5 things we learned. Bournemouth nil, Chelsea nil. Yeah, this is a game that has always been I don't want to say is that it has always been a problematic kind of game for Chelsea, because the last time Bournemouth beat Chelsea, if I'm right, should be in 2019 thereabouts, when they beat us 4-0, in the Vitality Stadium. So afterwards, it has majority of the matches that we go there to play has always been victory. And even if you look at how difficult this match has always been, you look at the last match that we played, the Reece James 90 plus 5 minutes, that was what came, the Reece James goal in the 90 plus 5 minutes, that was what came up to save us. And even before that time, I think the first leg, we played that match in 2-on-2, something like the 90 plus something minutes before Nkuku individual brilliance could save us from that match. And into this particular match, I think they gave us some warning shots that this was not going to be an easy match. By that first goal that they scored, though, it was ruled out as offside, and they take charge from the first to the 5th minutes. I think from the 5th to the 15th, 16th, 17th minute, we were in charge, but that control that we had we were not creative with our control. We were just taking possession and kept on kicking the ball around. And it was not coincident that throughout the first half, we only had 2 on target, 2 shots and 0 on target. We didn't test the keeper at all in the first half. But when we came into the second half, at first they showed kind of dominance. All of a sudden we took control from them, and then we started eating on the goalkeeper. But what I saw was there was when it got into the 70th minute, I expected that we increased the volume of the urgency. There was no sense of urgency in the way we played from the 70 minutes. So when it got into the 80th to the 85th minute, then we started showing urgency, which I felt was somehow abnormal, because it should have begun very earlier, because they were showing really strong strengths. And I think it was a very good match from Bournemouth, from individual performances like Senesi, the left back of Bournemouth, what's his name, Semenyo, put in a very good fight with Malo Gusto, and what's his name? Alex Scott. Alex Scott is a guy everybody I think we should watch out for. He came out from the Championship and broke into the Bournemouth team, and I think he plays really well. His ball progression, the way he distributes the balls around, I think it was really, really good and vital for them in this particular match. And for Chelsea, I think my own best player is Super Sanchez. So let's go into the 5 things we learned, guys. Let's discuss this match. The first thing for me is Sanchez. Super Sanchez for me. Super Sanchez, I think for me, is deserving of the man of the match in this particular one. The saves, I think, is the reason why we were kept into that match. Is the one main reason why we still could say, we had a draw in this particular match, because you're looking at the quality of chances that he faced and how he stepped up to it, punching the balls, catching it, pushing the Semenyo shots, pushing the Kluivert shots, the Tavernier shots. It was all there when this shot came up with him, and I think it was good performance from Sanchez. And also, one thing I really enjoyed was his claim. His claim. I think that's something that we have always suffered against, where people are putting crosses into the box from corners, from long throws, and we are having issues with our personnel, our defenders trying to clear their box. But with Sanchez now, he's just give him a little bit of space and let him go for the claim. And I think his claim has been something close to perfect in recent matches. I just think he should keep up with that. And also is the way he initiates the fast break, though he didn't turn out to become anything in this particular match, but you just find out anytime he goes for the claim and he gets the ball, he's always scanning for option, and is most of the time choosing the right option to give the ball to. So I think Sanchez has improved in my book. He has always been one of the best shot stopper in the league, but it's just with his distribution of passes, that's one thing I think he should improve on. But in this particular match, I think he is that guy that we need to give praises to. So to the second thing, I want to speak about the absence of Moises Caicedo. I know he's not on the pitch. He's not even in the lineup. He's not even in the bench. But it just tells you how important this guy is for the club. And you see how much impact his absence cost on the pitch. Look, going from the Leeds match and coming into this match, you just know that this personnel is a very important one in this club. And what are the things that we see that made us feel like, oh, we missed this particular person in this league? And the first thing I would say is there was no screen for our defense. There was no screen for our defense. And is also a factor in the Leeds match, but it's just that because of the quality of the defenders that we have in that Leeds match, that's why they got exposed really quickly. In this particular match, Fofana and Chalobah got exposed a whole lot of times, but because their quality is better than the quality that we had in the Leeds match, that was why the opponents could not take so much advantage of them. But there was no screen. It was very obvious that our defenders are very much exposed, because another thing is when the opponent gets the ball and they are charging towards us, like we are considering an attack in the moment and they are bringing the ball towards us. In the absence of Caicedo, all that you see the Chelsea player does is they drift towards our own defensive third and just move into the box and wait for what the opponent will do. But in the presence of Caicedo, when they are coming, is that guy who steps up to the challenge and either go for the marking or wait and bait the opponent into making a pass, and then he intercepts. So before the ball gets from him to the defensive line, he is always that screen to block it off. And I think we miss that a lot in this particular match. You see a whole lot of time when Tavernier, when Kluivert, or even the Dominguez that played the number 20, I don't know if I'm correct with his name, I'll say Dominguez. When he gets the ball on the right-hand side, he just, instead of going on the right-hand side here, he drifts into the central space because that space is empty. There is no personnel who, and you see, there's no personnel who wants to stop those players from operating in the central space. And most of the time, you see even people like Enzo Fernandez, when he's chasing the opponents, he's chasing someone like Alex Scott or Tavernier, he's not going fully into that tackle and cause them problem. So when they beat him a little bit, he just backs off. But with Caicedo, you know deep down that this guy is never going to back off. He will chase them to the end and make sure he gets his ball. So I think we just need to do, and just talking about the root of the issue is, we need to do well with our indiscipline issue. Yeah, we just definitely need to do something about the indiscipline issue, because it was definitely the indiscipline issue that is putting us in this situation. So I just want to talk about the absence of Moises Caicedo. I think we really felt his absence in this particular match. So let's go into the third thing. And the third thing I want to speak about is something in general about the club, which is the December dilemma. It's becoming a reoccurring factor in the club that whenever we get into December, it's supposed to always be a merry December. But now I think it's becoming a problematic December in the club. You're looking at last season, we had a very fine run. And then we got into December. First match, second match, we were doing fine. Third match, I think we did fine. And then we just got into mid-December and the problem just started to occur. And I think we struggled from that point until the 2nd of February before we got, I think in that phase, we played almost like 10 matches and we got just 2 wins in 10 matches. Now we have gotten into another December. And all of a sudden, it's just 2 points. It's just 1 point in possible 6 in December. Is the dilemma coming up again? I think that's something we need to quickly address before he goes deep into the club, because I think it's something like we just need to do something about it. I don't want to say if it is mental. I don't know, because it's definitely not tactics. Or one thing I'm trying to think about is the amount of game that is being played in December. And should we say the players are getting overwhelmed by just knowing, oh, this is a merry period and this fixtures is just all around and they are not focused per match? I'm just trying to rack my brain and I've not gotten a reason why we tend to have a dip in December. I think we need to come out of that space and not create a continuous problem for ourselves. So we need to address that part and not allow Chelsea always have something that people will know, oh, when it gets to December, these people will always have problem. Yeah, so let's go into the third thing. And I think the third thing I want to talk about in this particular match is Liam Delap. Yeah. And I know this is a very sensitive topic because he has injury in this particular match. But I suppose if you watch the last 5 things we did in the Leeds match, I spoke about something and I felt like occurred so much in that particular match, and it's also reoccurred in this one again, which is I spoke about the role that we deployed Liam Delap to play in this club, which is pinning striker up front, pinning the defenders up front, causing chaos in that space, and opening space so that the other guys can penetrate into that space. And I spoke about it in the sense that this is done with physicality, but not that physicality is not the overall thing that you need to do this, that you need to get this job done. It is a mixture of physicality and intelligence. And I spoke about Liam Delap leveraging too much on his physicality. And I think he brought that into this match again. We understand that you always need to put pressure on the defenders, and you will do that by using your physicality. And that is great. Put them on pressure, keep them on their toes, put them into a higher standard of the match. But you need to mix it with some intelligence. You need to know the right time to charge into players. You need to know the right time to come out of battles. You don't always want to go into battles. I think he allowed Senesi get the best out of him in this particular match. And this is not to downgrade the quality of Senesi. He has been great for Bournemouth this season. He's comfortable on the ball. He knows the right time to jump into an attack. He knows the right time to intercept balls. He's good aerially. He's good on the ball. His passings are great. He's always going to be a monster for strikers. Those are the kind of defenders you don't want to play against. But you need your own intelligence to be able to navigate this kind of situation. And I'm very sorry to say, I don't think Liam Delap thrived in that situation because he focused so much on one part of his strength, which is the physicality. He was going too much into fights. He was going too much into barging. He was going too much into pushing, that he was not even intelligently dragging this defender out so that other guys can exploit those spaces. He was not focused on the things that he could use his intelligence for. And I think it's sad. It's almost like we are getting into a space where all we just come out here and do is rant. These things need to stop. We need to be calm. We don't need to get so much wobbly in the whole thing. Calm down. Look at what you can do and do it. Don't just go all there, fight and push and this and that. Look at the injury he got. I'm not going to go into that space because that's too sensitive. It is injury. We never want our player to be in such situation. Yeah. But I think we need to do better, and he should be an example to the other guys. Yeah, he definitely just have to be an example to the other guys. Like when you go into something, you need to explore all options and come out with the best results. Don't just stereotype yourself to one and neglect all the others that can be a weapon for you to use. All right, so let's go into the fourth thing. And the fourth thing for me, I think I've spoken about the fourth thing. Oh, I've spoken about the fourth thing. Let's go into the last thing. The last thing for me, I would just say is the intensity and the urgency. I think we didn't know the right time to tune up the urgency in the game, because in all honesty, you look at the whole thing and you can't say, oh, the setup was the problem. You can't say the players didn't want to score. You can't say the only two things I would say that I felt like didn't really give us edge over Bournemouth was, number one, the urgency, and number two, the creativity. Yeah. So the urgency in the first place was when we were trying to get goals and goals were not coming. We didn't have a good first half. We got into the second half and we grew into the game. We were playing so well. We were creating chances. We were trying to knock quality chances, shooting shots towards the goal, which was something we didn't do so much in the first half. But when it got into like the 65th minute and the 70th minute, what I was expecting was increase the tempo of the game. Increase the tempo in the sense that when you get the ball, you need to be able to so comfortable that you string the passes quickly, you charge into the left hand side, charge into the right hand side, and just keep constantly pressuring them to a space in which they do not necessarily they don't have a choice than to go back into their own box and try to defend you from doing anything. But I think we were very slow and reluctant. Like, it was more like we were playing with the mindset of, there is so much of time. Don't worry yourself. We will get our time and we will get our goal, which is something that to some extent you need a bit of it, because it gives you that calmness of, let's keep going, let's keep going. But when you see like, oh, this is not working, increase the tempo. And I felt like we struggled to do that in this particular match. We did it, but we did it very late. We did it around like the 80th to 85 minutes, and then we increased the tempo. So where was the tempo before the 85th minute? It definitely was there, but we were just complacent, like it's not the right time to increase the tempo, but we increased the tempo later, but it was very late. And with the creativity, I felt like there wasn't so much of creativity in this match. Majority of our playing was more of kick from the back, get into the midfield, because we beat their press very easily. Kick from the back, get into the midfield. From the midfield, find it into the wide guys, either Pedro Neto or Garnacho, and try and drive, do cut back, or just make a cross to the far right, which didn't create so much out of the game. And I think we need to do a whole lot. We need to find a way to be very creative. We need to understand the right time and the right moment to increase the urgency, to put urgency into the game. I think we struggled with these two things in this particular match. Yeah, so these are my 5 things. There are a whole lot of things to talk about, but I think I'm a little bit of, I don't want to say sad. I don't think I'm sad, but I'm a little bit worried because when you are not getting results, and it's not all about just getting results, when you are not performing, you struggle to go on to perform. And I don't know, I don't want to confuse anybody. It's just the fact that you are supposed to get a win in this match, but you did not perform well. You will not have the morale to go and perform in the next match. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So when we are not getting good performances, our spirits drop, our morale drop, and we don't want to always put ourselves in that space. I think we need to come out of this, get winning, get good performances, and just keep on moving. And you look at the league table, it's something that is coming to our consciousness now. Now from second, if Crystal Palace goes on to have a good game, if Crystal Palace goes on to have a good game and get a win, we're moving from 4th to 5th. And I spoke about this in the last 5 things we did. When you don't win your matches, people below you are winning, or even a draw, they are shifting ahead of you. And 3 match, 4 match, all you will just see is that you have moved from second to 7th to 8th, and it can just keep going down like that, because this is the Premier League. Everybody is getting better per match. So this is just a call out to the guys. I think we need to really do better. We need to do great. So guys, these are my 5 things. What do you think? What are the things that I have not spoken about, or what are the things that I have spoken about that you have a different perspective towards? Please put it in the comment section and let's discuss about it. Till we see you some other time. Namaste.